Rich DeMarco back on Night Vision. Time now for Army One-on-One, the chance to get up close and personal with a Black Knight cadet athlete. This week, we catch up with Ryan Powis, sophomore center on the Army football team. And Ryan, welcome to Army One-on-One. And for you, it's been a year where you've battled through some injury, had overcome some adversity to get back out there on the football field.
Yes, sir. Kind of went through a rough patch from injury to injury. I'm kind of hitting a streak now where it's feeling pretty good. So, it's good to kind of have that adjustment to kind of come back.
Your hometown, Midlothian, Virginia. Take me back to the high school days when you first thought about attending West Point, playing football here, and what went into that whole decision?
I hadn't thought about it too much throughout my high school career. Both my parents were in the Army, but that didn't necessarily persuade me to go either way. And then when I kind of started sending film out, my parents sent film to Army and Navy, kind of without asking me, but just kind of see what happens. And that was one of the bigger schools, Division I schools, to take interest. And so, once I kind of came up here on a crew, glamored by everything up here, it seemed like a good fit.
You mentioned your parents both being in the Army. How did they feel when you said, hey, I'm going to go to West Point to play football?
They were good because I had talked about being in the Army. I always wanted to be in the Army when I was little. And then I didn't really talk about it too much in high school. But they'd always persuaded me to go to be an officer and stuff like that. So they just knew it was a good opportunity. And they were, as many parents are, they approved. So
you really burst onto the scene last year, moving up the depth chart into a starting position as a freshman. Tell me about that experience, not only as a Division I college football player entering the starting lineup, but also being in a leadership-type position when, in fact, you're a plebe when you go back into the Corps.
At first, it was a little awkward, especially, getting the position. I felt, almost it wasn't my place to kind of, tell people what to do or things like that, on the line. Or if I, knew a play and they didn't, I almost felt, wrong to kind of tell them, something different. And that was especially at first, and I think that kind of hurt me. But, as I kind of gained confidence and, I had more support, as the year went on, is people kind of, gave me confidence. So it definitely helped throughout the year.
Ryan, I know you're still maybe a couple of years away from some final decisions here, but tell me a bit about your studies, what you're enjoying doing as a cadet here at West Point, and what you're thinking about maybe doing when you get out in the Army.
We've kind of explored a little branch opportunities, between our summer details and stuff like that. But I plan on majoring in systems engineering, and right now I'm thinking about branching engineer course, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate a couple of minutes joining us here on Army One-on-One. Best of luck this season, and of course, as a cadet and an athlete here at West Point.
Thank you very much.
That's Army sophomore center Ryan Powis joining us here on Army One-on-One. For Night Vision, I'm Rich DeMarco.